me give you permission.
Thank you.
And we might run 5 minutes late because we took so long getting started.
It's no problem. I love to honor people's time, so I'm going to try to fit everything in so that I can do just that. Share. I got to hit the share button, apparently. Ta-da! Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about maximizing profits in uncertain times with 3 critical strategies. Oh, I have to turn on the, let's see, trying to see if my button will work. We're just going to use this one then. No, we're not. Why is it not working? There we go. We're going to start out with a quote from Warren Buffett. There will be interruptions, and I don't know when they will occur. And I don't know how deep they will occur. I do know they will occur from time to time, and I also know that we'll come out better on the other end. And this is something that he said about this current COVID crisis. So I am Sharon Galluzzo. I am a client whisperer. I help small business and franchise owners who started their business to be their own boss and have freedom, but now they're working every waking hour. They're stressing out their families, and to top it off, they can't stand their new boss. When my clients work with me, they get back control of their time, experienced increased revenue, and the freedom to promote their boss to CEO. That is what I do when I work with my clients. So I have a question, and I'm going to try to see people. I'm not sure. Here we go. I can switch this view. I have a question for you. How many of you consider yourselves heart-centered, creative, passion-driven business owners? Anybody out there would say that's them? Okay, that's a lot of us. I see that all the time in business. And here's the thing. Hold on, I got to get back to my thing. The business owner with the heart of a salesperson will always make more money than the business owner with the heart of a creative, unless you learn to turn your business into a profit-making machine. And profit is what we're talking about today. One time I was sitting with a friend, and she's a business owner, phenomenal, great products, really sharp, loves what she does. And she said to me, we were talking about how she was building her business, she goes, I just don't want people to feel like I'm selling them something. And I was like, but you are selling them something. You must sell them something. That's the definition of business, the exchange of a product or service for a monetary exchange. Not barter, but business. So you have to be making sales. You have to be able to get the money coming in so that you can actually have a business. If you don't make money in your business, it's a hobby, not a business. So today we're going to talk about 3 profit principles that will enable you to reconnect, adjust, and stay on track. A lot of businesses fail to utilize the number one most valuable asset in their business because they are focused on bright, shiny objects, what's new, learning new skills, investing in the newest platform, launching new products, DIYing it, I'm just going to watch a video and do it, and spending thousands of dollars on advertising. All the while, they are missing out on the ace in their pocket, the number one most valuable asset in their business. And that is profit principle number 1. Revive your tribe. Your most valuable asset is your current customers. These are people who love you. They support you. They want you to do well. These are the people that are your tribe. They're your raving fans. They're your cheerleaders. They're the people that always want to come to you and help and do business with you. So here's the thing. As the business owner, you're the one who's sitting up at night trying to figure out if you're going to be able to keep your business open, what's going on, how are you going to do it? You're the one losing sleep. They're not losing sleep, you are. But here's the thing. This is what we miss out on. They are out there trying to figure out how they can help you, their favorite business, stay in business and do well. Let me give you an example. You know that there are certain industries that have been closed since this all started, and they are still closed. Bars are one of them. And recently I moved from the Raleigh area to Emerald Isle. And the bars here, the business owners are very, very involved in the community. And the community is very upset that they cannot open because they want them to do well. So this community came together a couple of weeks ago, and they had a fundraiser for the bars. They had a barbecue lunch. It started at 11. It was going to go to about 2 or so. Come get your barbecue, support the local bar establishments. It started at 11. I arrived at 12:05. They were sold out. There was nothing left for them to sell, but they had also set up some like silent auctions and some raffle things. There were lines for those things for people just to support the local bars for hours, just so that they could do something to give back. Before that, they were buying gift certificates. People want to support you. They really, truly care. And if they are your raving fans, if they're people that are in your circle, they truly want to help you. They want to be there. But here's the problem. If you don't tell them what to do, if you don't let them know what you need and how they can work with you in this new paradigm, they are going to go somewhere else where someone is going to tell them how to help them. So figure out, how can you revive your tribe? How can you get them to be connected back with you and know how to do business with you now? Know how you can serve them in a new way. So one of the things that is really critical is referrals. And I don't have time to dig deep into this. So what I decided was I was going to give you this gift for free today. It's called the Endless Referral Roadmap. You can go to SharonGalluzzo.com/gift. And Galluzzo is spelled with 2 L's and 2 Z's because we're greedy. So SharonGalluzzo.com/gift. And here's what you're going to get. Exactly how to get the dream referrals that make your business money and to keep you going even in challenging times. Our referral network was so strong that once our website went down for an entire month, and this is the #1 way that people were getting in touch with us, went down for an entire month. Not only did we not lose money that month, but we made money. The referral network is critical. You're also going to find out how and when to ask your clients for referrals, step-by-step tools, and a template to share with your customers so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and neither do they. So now we're going to go to profit principle number 2, and that is revise your rates. I once knew a business owner who on the outside was extraordinarily successful, sales through the roof, really, excellent business when we looked at it from the outside. But to our surprise, he ended up closing down his business, couldn't make it work because he was making a lot of money, but he wasn't making any profit in his business, and he had to close. So here's the definition of profit in case you didn't know. A financial gain, especially the difference between the amount earned and the amount spent in buying, operating, or producing something. So what we want is that difference between what it costs us to do business and what we're selling our products and services for. So one of the things that, and a lot of business owners struggle with how to manage income, how to do expenses, cash flow, profit and loss statements, planning, all of those kinds of things. And that is something that I help my clients with. So one thing that I'm going to suggest to you that might seem a little bit provocative is raising your rates. Raising your rates during COVID, and why it might be necessary. Number 1, the reality is your expenses may have gone up since all of this has happened. Supply chains, all kinds of stuff might be causing you to have more expenses in your business. Number 2 reality, you may have been undercharging before all of this began. I know sometimes we get into a comfort level with our pricing and everything's going well, so we just kind of leave it there and we don't do anything about adjusting our prices. So take a critical look at it. Maybe you were undercharging before all of this began and you need to raise your prices just to sort of keep up. Number 3 reality, I said it before, people are buying. They want to support the businesses that they love. They are spending money and they are buying and they are trying to support the businesses that are out there. Now, I am not talking about price gouging. No price gouging. That's not what this is about at all. But there are reasons why you can and should maybe increase your rates. I'm not talking about doubling your prices, but maybe you increase 5% or 10%, whatever makes sense. and 10 might be too high, but you need to go in and look at your numbers and really check out why you could do this. Another thing that you might want to do is look at how you're offering your products and services. For us, when we started our video production company in 2008, there was a recession. And at first we were like, well, we don't want to lower our prices because we want, the value and that whole argument. But then we realized that we really needed to do something because the environment had changed. So we started offering volume discounts. And what that did was it lowered the per item price. But to get that lower price, you had to bring in more. So it benefited the customer because it gave them a lower price per item, and it benefited us because they were bringing us more items to do. So sometimes a volume type situation can help you adjust your prices and help make a little bit more money for you there. So here's the problem, is that business owners are afraid. We're afraid of the pandemic. We are afraid of doing the wrong thing. We are afraid of ostracizing someone. We're afraid of moving. We're afraid of raising prices. We're afraid we're going to lose our business. We're afraid. There's so much fear all the way around everything in business right now that business owners are experiencing. And so that is another thing that I help my clients with, is how to navigate that landscape. But you have to, the problem with fear is that it causes doubt, and overwhelm causes confusion. And with doubt and confusion, you cannot run a successful business. Paul Marsden says, business is all about solving people's problems. Us heart-centered people, it's service, and we want to give and we want to help, but we need to make a profit. So the other way that you can look at your profit is reducing expenses. Where can you cut expenses? Because it's a two-sided thing. We can get all the sales, but we also have to address the expenses side. So where are you spending money that's no longer serving you during this time? Advertising is always the first thing that business owners, well, I spend so much in advertising, I'm going to cut down the advertising. That might be a critical error. You really need to look at what it is that you're cutting. You need to cut critically, not just making a knee-jerk reaction because you need to change things. What are you not using right now? There are things to look at with your expenses. So you have to get this profit puzzle figured out, because this is what's going to enable you to grow your business. This is what's going to be enable you to leave a legacy for yourself, for your family, and for those customers that you serve. I'm going to tell you a quick story about one of my clients. And he called me up a couple of weeks ago and he said, so my sales are down. He goes, but I am making more money than I have ever made. My profit margins are up, because his sales were down, but his expenses were down even further. So the difference between his sales and expenses are giving him a profit margin that he has never experienced before in 15 years of business. So that is huge for him because he's actually making more money. So some considerations when you are thinking about cutting expenses. The critical issues are where to cut so that it doesn't undermine your business in the long run. So critical to look at. When you change one thing, it sometimes will change a whole bunch of other things. So you need to make smart decisions when you're considering cutting expenses. And you need to do strategic planning, not just a knee-jerk reaction. You really need to think about how you're going to cut these expenses and what the effect's going to be short-term and long-term. And then you can always change things when situations go back. But for now, you really need to look at that. Now, what are your considerations when you want to raise prices? What are those critical issues? No price gouging, be ethical. Have to say that again. People are buying. They want to support you. They want to go out and have an experience with you. They want you to solve their problem. So don't think that they're not out there. You could increase the rates on some or all of your offerings. You might just increase rates in one area. You might do a percentage increase across the board. There are lots of ways to do that, but you need to look critically at what you want to raise your prices. So Profit principle number 3, and I am going fast because 1, I want to honor your time, and 2, I talk fast. So that's why I wrote all the slides out. So I am going fast. But profit principle number 3 is revisit your rut. I have some bad news. Business as usual has become a fairy tale or a myth. It is not business as usual. It is business unusual, and it will stay this way for a while, and frankly, it may never come back. So let me tell you a little story. I have an eye doctor that I've been seeing for 20 plus years. Since I moved here, he's been my eye doctor. He is a visionary eye doctor. He discovered things about my eyes that I didn't know was wrong with me, and he helped me with my prescription all these years, and I absolutely love him. Great bedside manner, really does everything that I need. And as I said, we recently moved from Raleigh to the beach, and so I decided that I was going to drive almost 3 hours to continue to see my eye doctor. I like him that much. And I had an appointment in April. And as you know, in March, everything shut down. So my April appointment was canceled. Well, I wear contact lenses, and I realized that my contacts were running out. So I called the office to find out if I could get more contact lenses until I could get an appointment with him. And the woman that spoke to me on the phone was like, well, your prescription is expired. And I said, well, I know because my appointment was canceled. So yes, it's expired, but can I just get another box of those contact lenses? Well, I don't know. I'll have to have a tech get back with you. So I waited a day. They never got back, called again, spoke with the tech. She goes, well, your prescription is expired. And I said, oh, yes, I understand that. I said, it's neither my fault nor your fault. It's COVID's fault. This is just how it is. Can I get another box of contacts? And she goes, well, yes, I can send them. It's going to take, 2 weeks. And I was like, well, I'm actually going to run out before that. Can I get them any faster? She's like, no. And so I said, well, out loud, because I think out loud, that's how I process. I said, can I, if I go to 1-800-CONTACTS, it's going to take even longer because she goes, this is a courtesy. Your prescription is expired. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not how you treat customers. This is not customer service. This is not how you handle things whenever the whole world has changed. So I understand they were under stress. It's not necessarily a criticism of them. What I'm trying to draw out is the short-sightedness of the office in anticipating the needs of their patients. They could have called everyone whose appointments were canceled and said, hey, we can't see you now, but is there anything we can do until you can get in with us? So we really need to think about that. And just a PS to that story, had a lot of trouble trying to get in for an appointment. That's a very long story I will not share. I now have a new eye doctor. If you do not meet your customers' needs, they will leave. We do need to bob and weave. We need to figure out what is that new thing that we need to do. The picture on the right is a veterinarian. As I said, we moved here, had to get a new vet. And the way it's done now with COVID is that you cannot go into the facility with your pet. You have to stay in your car. You can be outside your car, but they won't let you go inside the facility. And I want to see your eyes. I want to talk to you. I'm a very face-to-face communicator. And so I was a little bit nervous whenever I dropped off my dog. He was having a follow-up from an emergency, and I wasn't in there with him. And so they came out to the car. They were really nice. They took him inside, but I wasn't really expecting much. Let me tell you, when that doctor got on the telephone with me, she was so patient. She was very descriptive. She said, oh, I can see your dog is a little bit anxious about this. She was describing my dog to me. She was giving me time to ask every single question. And I truly felt that I was in the room with this doctor. And she, in her practice, has found a way to make this new crazy thing feel comfortable for us. She has gone the extra mile to make sure that our needs are being met, even though they have to be met in a different way. And this practice, their follow-up is excellent. Everything I am absolutely in love with the vet. And I don't wish that my animals get sick or anything, but when I go there, I don't dread going to the vet because I know it's going to be an excellent experience. And that's what I'm trying to talk to you about whenever we talk about revising your rut. Now, this is for businesses that have sort of made a little bit of a change. We can't do business as usual. So I wanted to give you some examples of businesses that have shifted and have gotten out of their rut and been really successful. So the first one is a clothing boutique. It was, you go in, you try on the clothes, you buy the clothes. That was their business model. Well, when everything shut down, they decided, and I don't know what prompted it, but they decided to become online. They would do Facebook Lives. You could go online, you could watch the video, you could buy things right there in the Facebook Live, tell them I want to buy that, and they'll ship it out to you. Now they're open and you can go back in and do that kind of stuff, but they're continuing to do those lives. And they developed an app for their store. And I believe this is something that they will probably continue down the road, even when everything opens up, back up fully. Another thing is restaurants. You go into restaurants now and they have a paper menu. And for them, what does that mean? That means that they don't have to rely on long supply chains. They can rely on short supply chains. What's available at the farmer's market? What vegetables and fruits and meats can they get so that they can have their menu? They can revise their menu weekly and be able to keep up with what's going on in this environment. Farmers used to ship to grocery stores and restaurants. And again, that long supply chain has been cut. So they decided to go directly to consumers and sell their produce and their meats directly to consumers. They made an adjustment. Airbnb, before they were open, actually started what they called experiences for their hosts and enabled them to put on videos where they were doing cooking classes and they were doing yoga and they were doing all kinds of stuff. So these are all things that were within the brand, but it was an adjustment that they were able to move forward with. So to successfully revisit your rut, number one, you need to be in tune with one or more of the long-term trends of the pandemic. So what are they? What are we talking about? Talking about remote work. If you're doing something, Zoom is like crazy because remote work, right? Shorter supply chain, just like I mentioned, the restaurant, taking advantage of that shorter supply chain. Social distancing. How many stores do you go into now and there are masks? They are selling masks. Masks has become a big thing. Really short story. My oldest daughter started sewing masks for the pandemic. She taught herself how to sew so she could make masks. Consumer consciousness. Consumers are really worried and concerned about different things. You need to be in tune with that. You need to know what your customers need and want consciously and what they're worried about now and how to serve them. And of course, technology. So those are the trends of the pandemic. So number two is a lateral extension of what you do now. You need to cement your position with your customers. You need to let them know that you're still there, you're still doing it, and you are firm in what it is that you offer. Number two is don't undermine or completely change direction. This is going to cause confusion for your customers. For example, a restaurant that suddenly decided to carry skincare, that's not really a congruent match, right? Restaurant, skincare, not quite sure what it is. Should I support the skincare? Do I eat there? What do I do? Not really a good congruent match. You don't want to confuse your customers because confused customers do not buy. You want to make strategic changes. Again, no knee-jerk reactions. You really want to think about it. That doesn't mean you can't try something and adjust it and take months and months and months to be strategic, but you do need to think about it before you make those changes. And the number three way is this sustainable path to making a profit. Do not cannibalize your business. Don't confuse your customers. Don't do something that's out of character, that's off brand, that's not going to be able to keep your business moving forward. Don't do things like cutting out all of your advertising expenses. That will cannibalize your business. You need to preserve your brand and make changes that enhance your brand. I just said that a restaurant that adds skincare is probably not a good match. But what if the restaurant is honey themed and all the dishes have honey, and they start carrying a skincare line that is honey based? Now you have some congruency. Now you can see them making a change that would enhance their brand, perhaps. And you want to add value to your customers and to your brand. Find out what they want. Find out how you can serve them. Make adjustments that are serving your customers. If you, as my eye doctor could have done, call up the customers and say, we can't see you. What can we do to serve you until we can? So the key is to keep the DNA of the business intact, so that when we come back out of this incredible, unique situation, we have all the building blocks we started with before to spring right back into business. And that is a quote from Kevin O'Leary. So this is critical. If you do not adjust your standard operating procedure, it could mean the difference between surviving the lockdown or locking down your business. So we have a couple of watchwords that we need for this situation. The number one watchword is deep dives. You need to dive deep in. What do your customers need? What's going on? How are you going to serve your customer in this new time? You need to think globally, and you need to make deep dives and think critically about everything that you need to do. And the other watchword is reality check. I mean, that's a duck's butt. What other kind of reality check do you need, right? You need to be honest with yourself. You need to really look at the facts and not just what you're feeling. You need to maybe take a step back and be critical and be honest about everything that you need to do in your business. So a little bit about me. I've been talking all this time, so why do you even care? If you know me, you probably already know my story. If you don't, my husband and I started a video production company. We ran it for almost 11 years. It was a franchise company, and we actually broke the mold for the franchise. We changed the whole paradigm of what was possible. We were told that we would only be able to do this much money, and that was the max that we could make in our business. We nearly doubled that. We were multiple six figures for almost all of our business. We were won awards in the community and in our industry, and we were extraordinarily successful in what we did in that business. As part of that business, I started training, coaching, and mentoring other business owners. And whenever we sold our business in 2018 for a profit, because this is all about profit, we sold our business for a profit, I decided to do this kind of work full time. So I help there's my husband. I forgot to put him up there so you can see his handsome face. But he was my business partner, still my life partner. And it was a really cool, exciting ride. So the way I help my clients is I do one-on-one coaching, I do training, I do speaking. I am an Amazon best-selling author, and we will be giving away one of my books in a little while, as long as we figure out how to do that. And so that's just a little bit about me and what I do and how I'm here to serve you. So a recap. Profit principle number one, revive your tribe, get your customers involved, tell them how they can help you, figure out how you can serve them. Profit principle number two, revise your rates. Look at what's going on in your business. Should you raise your rates? Should you adjust your rates? What can you do to cut expenses so that you can have a more profitable business? And profit principle number three, revisit your rut. What are you doing now that is no longer serving you, and how can you do it better in this new economy? So thank you so much for having me today. If anything that I said triggered you or gave you an aha because you know that the instability in your business is causing instability in the rest of your life, because you thought you were setting yourself free with your business, but now you've just built a personal prison full of anxiety, guilt, and frustration. And you're plagued by the constant knowledge that you know your business could make more money if you could just figure out what's missing. I know many of you are here today are ready to put this behind you once and for all so you can experience consistent revenue, balance, and freedom. Today, you received a breakthrough tool with the Endless Referral Roadmap. You discovered your business's most valuable asset and how to utilize it to revitalize your business. And you've seen new ways to look at how business must be done during a pandemic. But there's still a problem. These strategies alone won't create the continuity to get off the sales roller coaster, that feeling of feast or famine when it comes to sales. You want continuous long-term growth that enables you to build security and the ability to take time for yourself and your family instead of working endless hours with nothing to show for it. So I want to give you a 30-minute, make more money in 30 days or less breakthrough call with me. At the end of this session, you are going to know the tools you need to have a stable, profitable business that treats you like the CEO you are. You will walk away with at least one key strategy that you can implement to make you money in the next 30 days. Now, I wish I could give a session to every single one of you, but I can't because my time is limited. So I'm going to do this for the first 5 of you that go to meetwithsharon.com and get on my calendar. This is normally a $250 session, but for the first 5 of you, it is my gift. If you're ready to bust open the doors and let your business soar, the first 5 of you will get this with my compliments. Meetwithsharon.com. I think I did a pretty good job of fitting it in, but are there any questions out there?
3 minutes to spare, Sharon. That was all.
3 minutes.
You talk like a New Yorker.
I do. Also, and I'm not sure how we're going to do this, but I do have a copy of Legendary Business from Rats to Riches. This is my Amazon best-selling book, and the workbook that you can only get through me as my gift today to one lucky person. And I will let Linda and Wendy, you guys figure out how we're going to do that. And then the only thing that I'm going to need is a mailing address for the person who wins so that